The following feature presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on a daring episode 505 of Skywalking Through Neverland.
Daredevil is coming back. He is returning. He is now in the MCU.
So if you're unfamiliar with his comic history, that is where we come in.
And we know you're all wondering, how familiar do we need to be with the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil film? None whatsoever. I've never been shot in the face, but I'm guessing if you were, you'd have a big hole in your head.
Right, and you wouldn't live. And where would you put Secret Invasion in your list of Marvel TV series?
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland.
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets loud.
It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! It's been 7 years since we've had a new Daredevil series, but now the man without fear has been born again. And we can't wait to talk to you all about it. But for right now, we want to welcome you back to
Skywalking Through Neverland.
I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, who this is her last show at her current age.
That's very true. That sounds like so weird.
It did.
Like,
yeah,
that's
just
the way it
you
sounded.
know, that's just the way it came out.
It did.
Like always, I don't formulate these beforehand. They just come on out, for better or for worse.
Wow. That's true, because my birthday is coming up in less than a week.
This is your birthday week.
So
she gets to do whatever she wants, unlike most weeks.
Yeah, and if you want to celebrate my birthday, March 10th, we're going to have our normal things we want to share, because March 10th is my birthday, and it happens to land on a Monday. So that's when we go live at 6 p.m. Pacific.
And we'll all sing happy birthday to Sarah. Everyone's going to join in to drown me out.
That's true. Yes. No shade on you, but yes, all the shade on you.
Oh,
I'm
believe
sorry.
me, I know that. Because you keep telling me every time I open my mouth to try to sing.
I'm sorry, sweetie.
With emphasis on try.
Yes. Skywalkers, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, Marvel, and pop culture fandom. So it's time for your weekly Wookiee hug and your little sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. We are live right now on the Skywalking Through Neverland YouTube channel. And if you haven't already, please subscribe and then click the bell for notifications so you know when we go live each week. Yes, Richard.
All right, so
we have an update.
YouTube subscriber update. We are now at a staggering 9,279.
We are making our way toward 9,300. That's exciting.
Yeah, it went up like another 15 since last week.
Holy buckets, really?
Yeah, and like we've been saying, we want to get to that 10,000 by Comic-Con in July. I think we can do it.
Let's do it. Yay. All right. In this episode, I'm so excited. We are breaking down the new Disney Plus series, Daredevil Born Again. We have been waiting years for Disney to pick up where Netflix left off, and now it's here. So in this episode, we're also going to give you some history of Daredevil. Richard's been doing some great research and what you should know going in. We will break down the first 2 episodes, which is what will be available as of today, March 4th. And yes, there will be spoilers in that section.
Okay, look what I brought with me. My Daredevil toy.
What?
I want to say circa 19. Oh, hold on. Is there a? a date on this.
Oh my God! Please tell me.
I don't.
This is like what is this? Like a plastic figure, molded figure that looks like it came out of one of those plastic like machines.
Right. Yeah. It puts the two sides together.
Yeah. But it's a little thinner than that.
1975.
Whoa!
Yeah,
this is older than me.
Yes, it is. I get a whole bunch right over there. These like plastic figures that for some reason they picked up where Mego left off, because Mego didn't make a Daredevil figure back in the early run of Mego figures. I guess because he was like really violent. But they made one of these.
Wow.
I'm not sure if this is Mego. Look in the bottom. See if this is a Mego figure.
Oh, okay.
So I guess this is like the counterpart to the Mego figures that had fully articulated joints.
Yeah, all it says is Marvel Comics Group, all rights reserved. And then some numbers,
Yeah,
USA.
1975. But no, okay, what's wrong with this figure? He's not in red.
No, he's in blue.
Why would you not make this
Daredevil,
in red?
come on.
He's holding his baton, which they made into like a candy cane shape.
Yeah. That's it. It almost looks 3D printed.
Yeah, it really does.
Yeah.
And it very has a waxy look to it. When I was going through some of my old toys a couple of months ago, I saw these figures. Like, hey, I'm gonna pull these out because you never know when I'll want to show them.
Wow. That is so cool. Jeff is weighing in. He says that's Captain Daredevil, like Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
Does he have a picture of his... Oh, it has DD on his chest. Yeah. Okay. DD.
What stands for Duran. He's a big Duranie.
He's wearing briefs.
Yeah. But why? Someone at the company doesn't have a company. It's not a bootleg, but there's no company on it.
No.
Someone there didn't say, hey, you know what would be even better if you made these in red?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
Oh, Thor up there is in green. That makes no sense.
Yeah, get a green Thor and a green Spider-Man up there.
Well, what's the reddish or pink figure?
Let's see, now I have to go get them. Hold on.
Okay. All right. All right. We're going to dive into your shelf here. The Thor looks really cool. Thor really stands out. All right. Check it out, y'all.
So here's some more. And I guess there's all just Marvel, because there's Thor.
Look, Thor is awesome.
He's green. Yeah,
he's just
great.
green, though, which is weird.
Great
it's like
sculpt.
Loki. Oh, yeah. Look at his cape. It's all... Wow. Wow, that's hard to do.
Yeah. Huh. And here's Spider-Man.
In green. This like lime green,
it's like he
too.
got sprayed by a green goblin goo.
Spider-Man is ready for St. Patrick's Day.
But maybe this company, they didn't have any red dye for their molds. Yeah. But then there's the Hulk. Oh, he's all red.
What?
Okay.
Okay, what?
Okay.
Spider-Man in green.
And Hulk in red.
Sweetie.
Come on, who's on quality control over at this company here?
I don't know.
Wow. They had the dyes, put them in the molds, and it's just that easy.
Jeff is saying down the 50-year-old rabbit hole. 75 is that 50?
50
years
toys
ago.
Are 50 years old.
Oh my God.
But I really prize this Daredevil because Mego never made a fully articulated Daredevil toy.
Aww.
So I had to play with this with my other Megos. My other Mego toys would just laugh at him. Because you can't move.
No
You're
kidding.
all in blue. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Jeff brings up a good point.
Oh.
He's the Red Hulk.
Oh, duh. Yes, he is. Oh my goodness.
Yes, that is Thaddeus Ross.
There you go.
Looks just like Harrison Ford, doesn't it?
It does.
This is turned into show and tell. Okay, Sarah, now get your 50-year-old Marvel toys.
I don't have those. I'm sorry.
You're not even a 50-year-old toy.
No, I'm not. I am not.
Oh, boy. Oh, the fun. Hey, want to have some more fun?
Yes, I do.
Then let's tell everyone that we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to a Disney park around the world, a Disney cruise, or the new Universal Studios theme parks, like the new Epic Adventure. Oh, the Epic Universe. Oh, I love this new Epic Universe is coming in 2 months now. Coming to Orlando this May.
They're doing cast team member previews already. Yeah.
Really?
Just started this week, March 1st.
Oh, I saw a video yesterday of Frankenstein, of the animatronic
Yeah, I'm
Frankenstein.
sure.
I don't know if I can wait until October. If you can't wait until October, well, go ahead and reach out to Small World Vacations at smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you. And then, if you want, you can always hurl a burl.
For more on that, listen to last week's episode.
I will never tire of saying that.
We are recording this episode from Long Beach, California on March the 4th, 2025. So, Richard, what happened today in Star Wars history?
All right, today on March the 4th, 2002, 23 years ago, Vanity Fair continues its Star Wars cover features with Attack of the Clones. I love this entry because I remembered this day so clearly when this is when the Attack of the Clones marketing started rolling out.
Oh,
Yeah, and I got into my Anakin outfit, went down to the 7-Eleven and picked up this issue. And Lucasfilm really did pull back on the marketing of Attack of the Clones. There was a lot, but not as much as The Phantom Menace. You recall in 1999?
Oh, absolutely.
You couldn't go,
anywhere. Taco Bell,
Yeah.
Burger King. Yes.
Unfortunately, now that you bring that up, there were no fast food tie-ins.
That was so big.
Star Wars
in 99.
releases are so synonymous with fast food tie-ins, and there weren't any.
Whoa, not for Attack of the Clones. That's crazy.
No, but there were still a lot of toys, books, the Attack of the Clones cereal. Every magazine cover had Attack of the Clones, and I love this Vanity Fair with Anakin and Padme on the cover. I always think of Attack of the Clones attacking spring and summer with their marketing.
They look like such babies.
Oh, they were very young.
But you know what's funny is Hayden Christensen is my age. That's crazy.
Well, look at you back when they shot this Vanity Fair photo shoot.
Yeah.
This must have been 2001.
Mm-hmm.
So you were just a little thing.
I was.
You were 20.
Yeah, I was 20.
Yeah, so I really wanted to point this out today in Star Wars history entry with the Attack of the Clones Vanity Fair, because this was the springboard into the summer of clones. All right, now with that, let's get into Daredevil Born Again. Oh, I'm so excited.
This city can't go unchecked. Sometimes peace needs to be broken. And chaos must reign.
Daredevil Born Again is here, and we are very excited. Now, get ready to do some math. This is the 11th live-action MCU Studios TV series, and if you're keeping track, this is part of Phase 5.
Okay, Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes, this is the penultimate series. There's this, and then next in June, we'll get Ironheart, and that will end Phase 5 of the MCU.
Okay, so that's a definitive ending.
Yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay, great. So if you're unfamiliar with his comic history, that is where we come in. Daredevil was first published by Marvel Comics in 1964.
He's older than me.
He's 59 years old? I can do math. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, 59 years old. He was created by Stan Lee and artist Bill Everett with some input from Jack Kirby. So, Matt Murdock.
He's 61 years old.
Oh.
He's 61.
61. Okay. Thank you. He was created by Stan Lee and artist Bill Everett with some input from Jack Kirby. Now, Matt Murdock, aka Daredevil, is a lawyer blinded in childhood in a chemical accident that gave him special abilities. While growing up in New York City's Hell's Kitchen, a crime-ridden, working-class neighborhood, Murdock pushes a man from the path of an oncoming truck and is blinded by a radioactive substance that falls from the vehicle. His exposure to the radioactive material heightens his remaining senses beyond normal human ability and gives him a radar sense. And you definitely see this in Netflix's Daredevil series.
All right, now to get you caught up with where we've seen Daredevil lately, there were 3 seasons on Netflix from 2015 through 2018.
And very much lauded as the best of those Netflix Marvel series.
Yes. Within that Netflix Marvel series, we got the Daredevil series, we got Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Then they all came together to form one season of The Defenders.
Yes.
I love these series. I think Daredevil was my favorite. I want to say Luke Cage was my second favorite.
I would say that.
And I really liked Iron Fist. And I liked Jessica Jones, but she was just too angsty.
I liked Jessica Jones because the villain was just so compelling and terrible.
Oh, the first season was David Tennant.
Yes. And oh my God, he like did the mind thing.
Yeah.
Like he would get inside people's heads and tell them to do bad, terrible things, like kill themselves.
Yeah,
Creepy.
so this was going on at the same time as the MCU films, so there was a disconnect. Like, what... Do we know what's going on within the MCU films, within these series? And every once in a while, they would mention the big green guy or the incident.
Yes.
So they weren't able to mention the MCU incidents directly.
Right, because at this point, the Marvel television was a totally separate unit from the MCU itself. It run by different people, didn't really talk to each other, and so there could be really no synergy between the two.
You could tell that the TV series were trying to avoid mentioning too much of the films, but you have to acknowledge something.
Yes. But now in this new day and age, Marvel Television is now run by Kevin Feige and that whole team over there.
But with the Daredevil series, this new series, they do mention a lot of the MCU film stuff, the incidents.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about that.
No.
Now, Matt Murdock, he cameoed in Spider-Man No Way Home as Peter Parker's lawyer. And I recall seeing this in the theater and everyone erupted in applause.
Because I think, wasn't this the first time that they brought back the actor?
Charlie Cox.
Right. Into the MCU. And this is like a big deal.
Because we knew the Daredevil series was coming.
Mm-hmm.
It was just slow and go because of pandemics and actor strikes. And this was the thumbs up to the Marvel audience that Charlie Cox, a.k.a. Daredevil, is coming back. He is returning. He is now in the MCU. Mm-hmm. So we didn't see him as Daredevil. We just saw him as Matt Murdock. Yeah.
But, well, do we see him as Daredevil in the series Echo?
Yes, we do. Yeah, in the first episode. And I love this very underrated series, Echo, which was a spinoff from Hawkeye. Mm-hmm. And the very first episode, we saw Daredevil. We didn't see Matt Murdock. We saw Daredevil.
Yeah.
And he was kicking some bad guy butt.
Then we saw him in She-Hulk as both Daredevil and Charlie Cox. And
He wasn't playing. He wasn't Charlie Cox. He was Matt Murdock.
That's right. Matt Murdock and Jennifer Walters, a.k.a. She-Hulk, had a little fling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know how you can tell the two apart? Because Charlie Cox, he's got a very Englishy accent.
Yes.
Yeah, so in the She-Hulk series, he wore the yellow and red outfit, which is a callback from the first Daredevil comics.
Okay.
He had the yellow suit, which I never really liked.
Oh.
Yes.
You like
it was too
full-on
mustardy.
red.
Yeah, give me some. It's the red Spider-Man, the red Hulk, the red Daredevil, Superman and his cape. Just loved the red.
For me, it's blue. I loved Superman. I loved Captain Marvel. And all the blue is like the main color in those.
Yeah, the red and the blue.
Yeah.
Those superheroes, I don't care who they were. I just love looking at those costumes.
It's fabulous.
Now, Daredevil Born Again begins several years after the events of Netflix's Daredevil, and a year after Matt Murdock has stopped being the vigilante Daredevil. And we'll find out about that in a couple of seconds. Mm-hmm. Now, Matt Murdock continues his fight for justice as a lawyer, while former crime boss Wilson Fisk has been elected mayor of New York City, putting the pair on a collision course.
Now, this first season consists of 9 episodes total. The first 2 will premiere on March 4th, and then over the next 2 months, the entire series will air weekly. But interestingly enough, episodes 5 and 6 will be shown on the same week. So a couple times we'll get 2 episodes in 1 week. So Jeff, I hope that answers your question. You were
Now,
asking about that.
At this point, we want to thank Disney for sending us the whole season of
Yeah, as a
Daredevil Born
screener.
Again. But what we're going to do is just talk about the very first 2 episodes. We don't want to get too far ahead of ourselves because there's a lot to go through in the whole series.
Yes.
So right now, we are going to stop this live recording so we can get into spoiler territory. So right now, we will segue with Rob Dellinger's Spoiler Alert.
Attention Skywalkers! Spoilers ahead!
Warning! Warning!
Attention Skywalkers! Spoilers ahead!
Warning! Warning!
Spoilers ahead! Spoilers ahead!
All right, so now here is a summary of the very first episode, and at this point, we don't have any titles for the episodes.
Yeah.
So Disney will send us the episodes, just no titles.
No.
All right, so now this episode begins where Matt and his best friend Foggy Nelson and girlfriend Karen Page have gone into a law practice business, and one night they go out for a drink when Bullseye exacts his revenge and kills Foggy. Daredevil pursues and chases Bullseye to a rooftop where he throws him off in anger. This is not the way he wants to do things, but it's anger. Anger has gotten the better of him. Then, cut to 1 year later, Matt has renounced his vigilante ways. He doesn't believe he deserves to be Daredevil after he threw Bullseye off the roof, even though he lived somehow. Bullseye woke up from his 2-story crash. How? You just go with it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Wilson Fisk, aka Kingpin, has won the election and is now the mayor of New York. One of his objectives is to do away with vigilantes like the guy in the spider suit and the Punisher, as well as Daredevil. Some citizens worship Fisk and some despise him in the worst way. Sound familiar? Matt would like to think his old rival has changed. However, he is going to keep a watchful eye on this convicted felon. Sound familiar? The two share a great scene in a diner where, in so many words, they each tell the other that if they step out of line, they will be there. Matt starts dating Dr. Heather Glenn, a therapist whose clients include Wilson Fisk and his beloved wife, Vanessa. As an author, Heather is working on a book about the psychology of masked vigilantes. If she only knew.
Wow.
All right, so Sarah, what are your initial thoughts on this first episode?
Okay, well, immediately to open the show, we get a wipe that looks like opening your eyes. Like it starts from the middle of the screen and whoop, wipes up to an image, basically.
Image of New York.
Yeah.
Like we're being born again.
Exactly. I thought that was really neat. Now, this first scene where Foggy gets shot and then Daredevil is fighting with Bullseye, it's like all one shot as they go outside and inside this bar and then through the building all the way up to the rooftop.
That was a staple of the Netflix Daredevil series. These big fight scenes were one shot.
It is so compelling and like things go in and out of the shot and it's just it's amazing and it brought me right back to the original series. I also really loved that unlike a lot of superhero fights that you see on screen where the superheroes are just fighting, they're all good. These guys got tired. These guys just portrayed as actual physical people. Like if you're fighting for your life, you try and work on adrenaline, but eventually you do get tired if there's like knives sticking in your chest and your back and you're just gonna like need a break. So a couple of times these guys are like resting against the wall, showing their exhaustion, and it just seemed very real and reality based for a superhero show.
Yeah, that's like the best thing about the street vigilante heroes. Yeah, they are actual people. I know he doesn't have powers like Spider-Man or Iron Man. He does have the special radar sense, but that doesn't give him the extra strength like Captain America.
Exactly. Just his suit, I think, is, it has some.
Well, it's like armor. It's like that
Kevlar.
Kevlar armor.
Yeah. All right. I have more to say, but did you want to say one of your points?
Yeah, I can go off of that.
Okay.
I think this is a great springboard from the Netflix series. It sets up everything without having to over-explain things. You know, when they would stop a scene and say, well, you know, Foggy Nelson as my best friend who I've had since college, and Karen Pay, you know, that kind of dialogue you see in a lot of shows, and it just stops the scene. Like, so the dialogue and the structure is great. We fell right into this immediately because there were no story hiccups like that. Except for maybe Bullseye falling 2 stories and then living.
Well, so apparently, this is Poindexter, who was in the 3rd season of Daredevil.
And he was operated on because Wilson Fisk
broke his back.
In the last episode of season 3, you see him being all sutured up with like a vibranium spine or something.
They didn't explain what it was, but they were putting material in there that is experimental.
But you know, you're falling off a 2-story tower. But you know, but you know what? We get it. We get it. It's not a documentary. You gotta suspend your disbelief every once in a while, and it's violent, but not nearly as violent as the Netflix series. That sometimes we had to look away. Yeah, sometimes here we had got to look away too, but I think they toned it down. But still, toning down Daredevil is still way above most other series, and a lot of the action is taking place in smoke and shadows, so that hides some things. And Daredevil, he hasn't lost his acrobatics. I love seeing him flip around and doing shoulder rolls and doing what he does in all of his stunts. And he bounces his baton the way Captain America bounces his shield.
Ricochets off things.
Yeah, it's gonna hit like 4 people by ricocheting off a banister.
Yeah, it's really awesome.
I know I had trouble with that in Captain America, but you know, it's gotten to the point now where it's kind of comedic.
Yeah, it's true. All right, so can I talk about Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock? Now, as evidenced by the poster that you see here as our background, you have Fisk and Murdock, and Fisk is portrayed in white, and Daredevil, Murdock, is portrayed in red.
Yeah.
And so you would think that Fisk is innocent in this series, and that Matt, I call him Matt. Should I call him Daredevil or Matt? You guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, right now he's Daredevil because he's in the mask.
Okay. And Daredevil is in red, which means maybe he should be the bad character. And I feel like this whole series is pitting these two against together on very similar paths, because Fisk, he has taken the mayorship and he's basically renounced his crime empire at this point. And Matt Murdock, similarly, has renounced his Daredevil ways. And both of them, especially in that sandwich shop scene when they're talking, that chat.
In the diner?
Yeah. You know, they are very concerned with the other going back to their old ways.
Oh,
right?
Yeah, they're warning each other. You step out of... I know who you really are. You step out of line, and I'm going to be there. And Matt tells that to Wilson, and Wilson tells that to Matt, because Wilson Fisk knows Matt Murdock's secret identity.
Absolutely, yeah. So both are running away from their violent natures. However, I mean, we know that both of these guys will eventually crack, or there would be no show. There would be no season. So I'm just curious to see where each character will end up in the end.
Well, like everyone keeps telling Fisk, once a thug, always a thug. So once again, you get New York. They're split. New York City is split.
Yes.
Some people hate Wilson Fisk, and some people love him because they know he's going to get stuff done.
Yes. Yeah.
Sound familiar?
Yes, it does. So Wilson Fisk is trying to serve the city, and Matt, as a lawyer, is trying to serve the people. So they're both trying to serve in different ways, but not going back to their old ways to do it. You know, they're trying to serve above the line, as you would say. And I feel like the end scene of this episode was so poetic, because you get Wilson Fisk. He has just heard that he's been elected mayor. He's standing on top of a building bathed in white of the city lights, and he's looking down upon this city that he wants to serve. Whereas Matt is walking among the people, and with his hearing, he's hearing that Fisk has been elected. But Matt's walking among the people, but he's very isolated, and he's looking up as red taillights are shining on him. So it's literally this poster come to life.
Yeah, if you notice, Wilson Fisk is never bathed brightly in red. I mean, in white rather.
Right.
She's always shadow. Like right here, we see that picture. he's not in total white light. There's a lot of shadowing there, which is very telling that he's not going to renounce his Kingpin ways, even though he keeps saying those days are behind me, because he was in jail between Netflix and now. So that's why he's like, okay, I'm gonna stand back. And his wife, his beloved wife Vanessa, she stepped up and took over his business, the underworld business,
the crime boss, basically.
Yeah, and she ran it with I'm gonna be loyal to everyone. I'm gonna pay them what they deserve. I'm not gonna scare them the way Kingpin did. It was when you scare someone, you don't get the loyalty. When you are sharing with them and you consider them as part of the collective unit, then they're going to be loyal. And these crime families are very loyal to Vanessa. So now here comes Wilson Fisk back again. So now who's going to reign as the head of all these families, as the collective shadow? Who's going to take over now that he's back? And she's saying, hey, you know what? Things have changed since you've been away, so I don't really feel the same way. But Wilson Fisk has got that same adoration that Anakin did for Padme.
Yeah.
That's his driving force in life. That's what's going to turn him to the dark side.
That's a very good way of putting it. Yeah. Yeah, and everything he does is supposedly for her, or he tells himself that, basically, no matter if it's good or bad. Yeah.
Now, I'm very happy that we had these stop and goes with this season.
Okay.
Because there was the pandemic, there was the SAG strike, which gave Kevin Feige time to look at the series and collaborate with everybody else. And even the Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, who plays Wilson Fisk, they weren't too happy with the way things were going. And you didn't see Daredevil doing his daredeviling until like episode 5.
Wow.
And Kevin Feige said, if I know Rich, he's going to complain about not seeing a costume in their first episode. So I'm not sure if they did this first episode because of me, where you saw a lot of Daredevil being Daredevil. But yeah, we didn't have to wait until into the season to see him in his red suit.
Right. Yeah. Oh, so cool.
Yeah. We see him now, but we don't really see him be Daredevil again for another couple of episodes. But when we do see him again, I don't want to get too much ahead of ourselves. When we do see Daredevil come up again in a few episodes later, we didn't really go, oh man, we haven't seen him in a long time, because you still see Charlie Cox.
Yes, Matt Murdock.
Yeah, Matt Murdock.
He kicks some butt.
He does kick some butt.
Yeah,
he does kick some butt.
That's
so
always
it's
fun
a
to see.
very good balance, and the kind of thing where if you don't know that you missed something and it doesn't keep coming up like, oh, come on, where's the guy in the suit? We want to see the suit. That doesn't keep coming up. They're doing a good job.
Absolutely. Now, let's talk about this opening credits images that happen at the beginning of every episode. Richard, you brought up a great point when we were watching, I think, the second episode. You mentioned that it's like all these like statues, symbols of justice are crumbling. And then in the end, the rocks coalesce to form Daredevil out of stone. And so we really watched it, and we realized that it's not only symbols of justice. There's symbols of religion. There's the church that Matt went to. There's a tombstone of Foggy. There's also the Statue of Liberty. These all break apart.
And the badge with a date of 1964.
A police badge.
The police badge, yes, which was the debut issue of the Daredevil comic.
Yeah, so all of these break apart. So it's like the city is falling apart. These main pillars of that make up a person, sometimes like your religion, your society, all that is breaking apart. And then those bits of rock, starting with the little horn, they all coalesce to form Daredevil, and then the red light comes on it, because before that, it's all that stone color.
Yeah, the city needs Daredevil.
Yeah, so it depicts basically Daredevil rising from the rubble like a phoenix rises from the ashes. And I feel like that opening image is really telling the story of what this season is about, which is that Matt will eventually realize that he is called to be Daredevil, that the city needs him.
Oh yeah, it's very, very telling.
Mm-hmm.
And another really fun thing I love about this is that it plays into a lot of social media. like with the BB report. You get this young girl.
The
who's
whole
got
series.
This like YouTube channel. And she goes out and just talks to the people of New York and gets more than just what a network would get, because she's one of the people of New York. She's this young girl, so people are willing to talk to her and tell her their true feelings about New York, about Wilson Fisk. And she happened to drop that her uncle was a reporter for the Daily Bugle and the Spider-Man comics. Yeah, so with every name that is dropped, it's like, okay, we gotta pause it and text and
look it up.
Yeah, we gotta search for this name right here. So it does do a great job in tying everything together. And this little BB report is like the audience, point of view of the audience, going, okay, is Wilson Fisk, is he good, is he bad, where are we supposed to stand on this? So I love this character of the news stories. I
love that. And also, you hear bits of what Matt hears, the people talking about Fisk, and lots of people are like, oh, he's going to be awesome. He's going to get done. And then other people are like, oh no, we can't have this thug as a mayor. You know, it's this past election. I was getting like so much whiplash from that. I was like, wow.
But unlike this past election, you really want to like Wilson Fisk. He seems very sincere. He's like a big teddy bear. Everything he says, you just know that he really wants to change his ways. So you think right now. And he's very sincere about wanting to take care of New York, the city that's just falling apart. No one is getting along. We have vigilantes outrunning the streets, and he wants to do away with vigilantes and just roll the city into what it should be, a nice peaceful place that deserves the moniker I Love New York.
Which is what he says in his speech.
Yeah, but from seeing shows like Hawkeye and Echo and the last seasons of Daredevil, there's a monster within, and he's waiting to come out. All right, so now let's get into episode 2, titled We Don't Know Yet.
We don't know. We'll know tonight. All right. The episode begins with Fisk accepting his election as mayor of New York, where he assures people that he will get things done and get vigilantes off the streets. New York doesn't need vigilantes like that red flying spider guy, right?
Yeah,
things
and
like that.
Punisher.
Yeah. But he faces a hostile police commissioner, Gallo, and about half the police force who don't want Fisk as mayor, and they are prepared to do something about it. Meanwhile, dutiful citizen Hector Ayala breaks up an attack on a subway platform, but during the fight, one of the attackers slips and falls in front of a subway car and is dead. The two attackers are undercover police officers, and Hector has been arrested. Matt decides to take on Hector's case, but knows he is hiding something. Later, Matt discovers that Hector is a vigilante known as the White Tiger, who gets his incredible power through an amulet. Later, dirty cops go to kill the man that was initially being attacked on the subway. However, Matt got there first and saves him. The cops bust in only to find Matt. The two cops try to rough up Matt, and they go to kill. They kill Matt Murdock. They put the gun to his head, but then Matt's anger then gets the best of him, and he beats the daylight out of the cops. He now knows he can't keep this dark passenger down any longer, and the Daredevil will return.
He's trying to suppress it because, like we were saying earlier, when he threw Bullseye off the roof, that was murder. He knew what he was doing. He did it in anger.
Well, because he could hear Foggy's heartbeat slowly stop. And at that moment when he heard it stop, he threw Bullseye off the roof and then screamed. He yelled.
Being a Catholic, that really got to him because that was murder. And he's always been against murder, of course, but he knew what he was doing at that moment. So he's been trying to renounce the vigilante ways and try to stay out of this Daredevil costume. And some of his friends do know that he is Daredevil, so they hide things from him because they don't want to get him upset. It's like he's him being Bruce Banner. You don't want to get him upset because he's going to turn into the Hulk. Well, you tell Matt too many details about the crime of New York, and he's just going to want to put that costume back on and go out there and Daredevil.
Yep. So what did you think of this episode 2?
Another great episode. Very, very suspenseful. Charlie Cox as Daredevil and Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk. They play off each other so well with their little cat and mouse games. And the ultimate tip of the cap is when you can say that you can't see anyone else playing these characters. Like Robert Downey Jr., you couldn't say, I can see anyone else playing Iron Man.
No.
It's just a suit. But Robert Downey Jr. made the MCU with his portrayal of Iron Man. Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio, they make these characters, and you can't see anyone else but these two actors. Even like the Batman series, as much as we loved Michael Keaton, well, no, Mike, that's a bad example because Michael Keaton was Batman, not Val Kilmer or George Clooney. Okay, bad example. But you see what I'm saying.
Yes.
These guys really take on the mantle of their characters, and they're just so good, especially when they're playing those little cat and mouse games.
Yes. And because of this poster that we have here, I really am looking at each of these episodes and seeing the similarities of the paths of both Fisk and Matt. And they are really on similar paths. Like in this episode, they are both faced with obstacles and both turn to their old ways to get through them. So the police commissioner who was going to resign, well, Fisk has found that he has a secret kid and basically blackmails him into staying on and keeping his mayorship, going smoothly.
Yeah, well, if he controls the police commissioner, he controls the police.
Exactly.
Which means he's got the
controls the
ultimate
city.
power.
Exactly. Fisk, he's having marital trouble with Vanessa. Apparently, she had an affair with Adam while he was away. And so he openly attends couples therapy with her and makes himself very vulnerable. So he's going by the book on that one. And here, you really feel for Fisk because he seems so lost.
Well, he just says, I'm here because I want to save our marriage.
Exactly.
And Vanessa's saying, we're here. I feel like we're here because we have to be here. And who's running these therapy sessions?
Yes.
Dr. Heather Glenn, who is now going out with Matt Murdock. But she's on an NDA, so she can't tell him.
No, not at all. Yeah. Wow. It's so cool.
Yeah, there's so many layers, and with each episode such as this, there are so many layers. You have the Wilson Fisk and Matt Murdock. You have the Wilson Fisk being the mayor. You have the Bullseye. You have this other villain named Muse. There's so many layers, but they do a great job in organizing them, and you never feel lost.
No,
Like
not at all.
Some shows, there are so many things like, wait a minute, who's mad at who and who wants to kill who? Once again, gotta hand it to Kevin Feige and the filmmakers. They're doing a great job with the execution of this.
I agree. And I want to talk a little about the sound design because Matt Murdock, he has super hearing, basically. And so every so often, like especially when he's tracking someone, you'll hear like those footsteps. And he can track people by the way their footsteps sound. He even said to Fisk, your step is lighter. You have more muscle and
You've lost weight.
You've lost weight. Yeah. I was like, wow, but you have more muscle. It was like he could hear that in the step. But the way the sound design is, you hear these steps as he's tracking people. You hear heartbeats as he senses them. And I find it so interesting. And the soundtrack itself, the music is very minimal because of this. I feel like the sound design really takes center stage. And you only get so often that Daredevil theme, which almost sounds like a heartbeat in itself. It's like only 2 notes that repeats. Very, very heartbeat-like.
One of these last episodes we had, I think this morning we watched episode 7, and there was one fight scene with no music whatsoever.
And only sound when the punching came.
Yes.
Like nothing else. It was like completely no sound.
Yeah, the sound was very deafening.
Yes.
But they did that for a reason.
Yeah.
Everything here is for a reason. Like if you watch an episode going, wait a minute, but what about this or that? That's because they're holding back on information that they don't want you to know. So everything here is just making so much sense, and every morning we wake up, it's like, let's watch Daredevil.
Yeah, let's watch another episode. Yeah. In fact, we have to watch 2 episodes today, and then the screeners disappear.
They expire.
We gotta watch it. Yeah.
Yeah. So now comes the big question. What do we need to watch before watching Daredevil Born Again?
So watched this first episode having not seen a Daredevil series since 2018, I think you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been a while. So we were in it right away. I mean, we know the Karen, Foggy, Matt. You know, those are pretty clear, and that's what this series started with. But, like, I don't remember Poindexter as being a big bad in season 3. As Bullseye.
Right.
So I didn't remember that he was from that season. So after we saw that first episode, we went back and we watched the last 3 episodes of that third season. And I found that helpful. I feel like we didn't need to see it, but it was helpful just to see the context.
There's many context clues, like Bullseye aiming his rifle at Foggy. You know that's a bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
But why does he do it? Does he want to kill Foggy? If you watch Daredevil, the Netflix Daredevil, it'll answer that. But through context clues, you have enough to go off of.
Yes.
They don't leave you in the dark.
Mm-hmm.
And we find out that he wants to kill Foggy Nelson because he wants to get revenge. And Matt's relationship to Fisk is very clear because of their dialogue. We know that they're past adversaries, and that coffee shop scene, that little diner scene, is the best I've seen, where a hero and a villain face off without fighting.
I agree.
They are very cordial, with undercurrents of knowing what the other is capable of and who they really are. When 2 adversaries fight without fighting, and it's so tense, that is a great scene. And they show some of these clips in the trailers.
A lot of them, because that scene really tells the story of the 2 of them. And so they use several bits of dialogue as they're playing things, that's going to happen in this series in those trailers.
Mm-hmm. And I think watching Echo and Hawkeye would help better understand comments referring to incidents.
Yes.
So,
such as Echo,
Wilson being shot in the face.
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute, he was shot in the face?
By his former Padawan.
Yes,
Mentee.
yeah.
Mentee, for lack of a better word. Yeah.
Yeah, in the show Hawkeye. Then you see Wilson Fisk and Echo play off of each other in the show Echo. So you get a little bit more history of Wilson from that series.
Yeah.
But like we keep saying, you don't have to. It would just help.
Mm-hmm.
Watching, like we always say, watching a new part of a already existing very large universe, it helps to watch what's come before it, just to better understand everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, one thing that I was a little unclear about when first watching it looks like Wilson Fisk's eye is totally better in the first episode. So it made me wonder whether this predated Echo shooting him.
No, because he had a big scar.
Yeah, and then later I realized, oh no, he has a scar there. I just feel like he should have like a whole, he got shot in the eye. I feel like he should have an eye patch.
In Echo, he did have an eye patch.
Yeah,
and
that's why I was confused.
I guess Vincent D'Onofrio didn't want to keep wearing the eye patch,
Yeah.
so Wilson took it off.
Yeah,
right in the middle of the scene. It's like, well, we already shot it with me taking it off, so I guess.
Let's just say we had eye surgery. Let's deal with that.
One of those very few moments where you gotta suspend your disbelief, because I've never been shot in the face, but I'm guessing if you were, you'd have a big hole in your head.
Right, and you wouldn't live. Yes. But, Wilson Fisk, he's a big man. I don't know what happened.
Yeah. And I think maybe Vanessa's storyline's a little foggy.
What do you mean? Oh, like
because
what she did during this series?
Yeah, going into the series, who and what she really is, how much she knows.
Right. Now, what's interesting about her character is in the previous series, Daredevil season 3, she's always wearing white or off-white, just these very, very neutral colors. And in this season, she's got jewel tones, she's got burgundy, she's got deep green, and it's clear that her character has changed.
So now she's in it. She is in it.
Mm-hmm.
And there's some more cameos coming from other superheroes or mentions. Yeah, we won't spoil that.
No, but they're very fun.
We say spoilers just for these 2 episodes, but yeah, there are some characters coming up in this New York City, New Jersey universe of Marvel characters.
That's a good hint.
Yes, it is. And we know you're all wondering, how familiar do we need to be with the 2003 Ben Affleck Daredevil film? None whatsoever. Not whatsoever. You needed to watch that film before watching Deadpool and Wolverine. Just not needed for Daredevil Born Again. You're welcome.
Amazing. Now, this is really exciting news. A second season of Daredevil Born Again has been greenlit already. I believe they're already working on it because it's set to premiere in early to mid 2026. So we don't have long to wait.
I know. I don't like it when you gotta wait 2 or 3 years between series.
You forget everything that's happened. Yes.
So thank you, Kevin Feige and Marvel, for continuing on in the world of Daredevil, because this is my favorite of all of the MCU series.
Wait, above WandaVision?
Okay, maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah, I would. Well, WandaVision. Wow.
That's on a different level, right?
Yeah,
it's kind of like
really
Andor is in the Star Wars series.
Yeah.
They're just its own thing.
So I would say my top 3 favorite MCU television series. You get WandaVision, Agatha All Along, and Daredevil. You put them in a pile. What's going to be on top? There is no on top. They're
Any
just
given
all
day.
3 of them, yes.
Okay.
All 3 of them make up one.
I really liked Loki season 1 as well.
Yeah, that'd be number 4.
Okay.
Where would you place this?
Oh my gosh. This is hard. I mean, obviously, Agatha and Wanda, wearing Wanda's shirt right now, WandaVision. Agatha and Wanda are top. So I definitely put those on top. And then maybe Loki and Daredevil now, Daredevil Born Again, are neck and neck for next.
Okay.
So, I have ties.
Because every series is so different, you get clumped into like one.
Yeah.
And of course, above all, is Secret Invasion. That's in its own category. What category? You decide. So, Skywalkers, what are your thoughts on Daredevil Born Again? Was this something that you were looking forward to, this series? And what do you think of the series so far? Because at this point, a couple of episodes have already come out. And did our breakdown help you understand the world of Daredevil?
And where would you put Secret Invasion in your list of Marvel TV series?
And do you have one of these toys yourself? If so, share it in the comments.
Shoutouts, Skywalker shoutouts. Which Skywalkers get props from here in Neverland? Who was tweeted out? Shout out. Who was photobombed? Shout out. Who was shared a post? Shout out.
Thank you, Skywalkers. Every month, we give a big shout out to the Skywalking Force because this does not happen without you. So thank you so much to Anthony Kikias,
Blessed Cheesemaker,
Bryn McKinnon,
Carl Fox,
Chica Fent,
Christopher Marino,
Courtney Turkel,
Dale Erdman,
Darren Irvine,
Dave Kerwin,
Don Glover,
Derek Beebe, who just had a new book come out. Congratulations.
Glenn Stein,
Goalie Rob,
Jeff Caffrey,
Jeremy and Heather Hunt,
Joey Pittman,
John Liang,
John Zancanaro,
Jonathan Chiato,
Jordan Paley,
Julie Caruana,
Julie and James Gildersleeve,
Justin Smith,
Cato Toby Ryder,
Kelly Turkel,
Kristen Carr,
Laura Bryce,
Leanne Nelson,
Meredith Duckworth,
Michael Corbett,
Michael Knipp,
Mike Ward,
Nancy Steinman,
Patrick Pine,
Patty Hammond,
Patty Nazarian,
Peter and Norma Heitman,
Reynold Gobey,
Ryan Wiltberger,
Sasha Barrios,
Scott Carmichael,
Scott Hume,
Taryn Bench,
Wesley Meekoms,
William Magalio,
and
Win Patterson. Thank you to one and to all. And once again, we've been going 11 years and 505 episodes strong. And we couldn't have done it without you.
that wraps up episode 505 of
Skywalking Through Neverland.
We want to thank Disney for sending us Daredevil Born Again to review. And to all of you Skywalkers who listen every single week, please subscribe to our YouTube channel and click the little bell for alerts so that you know when we go live. And you can also find us on all socials at Skywalking Pod.
Now, do you have things that you want to share? Well, we do, and we want to share them every single Monday at 6 p.m. Pacific time on our live YouTube show, Things
We Want to Share.
Last week, we talked about the Minnie's Moonlit Madness event you went to, the Adventureland Day. We played trivia. We have a lot of fun. We invite these Skywalkers who are watching to come up and share something that they want to share, something they got from to add to their collection, or something they did, or a new book they just wrote.
That's right. Speaking of books, are you interested in our books? Autographed copies of Today in Star Wars History, Parts 1 and 2, and Skywalking Through My Fandom, the interactive notebook, are available now from skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book. Also, Richard, you and I will be at several conventions this convention season, where you will also be able to purchase copies.
Yeah, and notifications are coming very soon when we're allowed to announce them.
Yes, exactly.
Now, do you want to support Skywalking Through Neverland in other ways? Well, consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. The Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom or StreamYard discussions. We'll be starting up our Daredevil Born Again discussions very soon. We had one on Skeleton Crew. We went as far back as WandaVision.
Yeah.
And everyone gets to come on and voice their opinion of the show and give their initial thoughts. Lots and lots of fun. And this bonus content begins at only $5 a month. So head over there to skywalkingforce.com and have a look at all the options. And thank you to those who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
We would also like to thank our sponsor, Small World Vacations, for their support. Are you thinking of a trip to Disney parks, a Disney cruise, or to Universal Studios' Epic Universe theme park? You can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Remember, their vacation planning service is free of charge. Also, if you book with them and there happens to be some special, they can add that special to your trip. That's solely through booking with them. That's such a great deal. So check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet,
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis and
Today in Star Wars History. Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun bits that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember, I don't think Daredevil says anything.
No, it doesn't.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. You're really missing out by not having a catchphrase.
There's no fun thwips or things.
No.
Yeah, no hurling of burls with Daredevil.
Daredevil. It is 5:05, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I hope so.
Daredevil. Hey, look at those names to the left. They are part of the Skywalking Force, our Patreon.
Become a producer yourself and check out all the Disney Plus themed bonus content available depending on the level you subscribe.
Become a member of the elite Skywalking Force at skywalkingforce.com.